Sarah Davidson.
Hello, I'm Roan Fletcher.
Hi, I'm Lila Mahaffey.
And this is Chapter 2 of Marc Aronson's Rising Water.
Seals and Cave Divers, Sunday, June 24th, midnight. At first, no one outside of those close to the team knew they were missing. By midnight, Narongsak Osotanakorn, the governor of Chiang Rai province, learned of the missing team and came to the cave an hour later. Known as a highly skilled, honest, and devoted to protecting the environment in his province, Osotanakorn was the kind of leader who would drop everything to help out in what was otherwise might have seemed like a local mishap. Constant rain was making the cave entrance impassable. The local divers realized they could not be of use and left. By morning, more and more concerned people were coming to help. But as one person told a reporter from the BBC, no one really had any idea what to do. Some brought pumps and pipes, whatever they had at hand, to try and pull water out of the cave. But that was like trying to divert a river with a garden hose. Policemen managed to get far enough into the cave to find handprints left by the boys, a sign that they had retreated farther into the cave system. To enter those depths, the police would need expert help. Someone contacted Vernon Unsworth, an Englishman who lived in Thailand and had spent a lot of time exploring these caves in the dry season. The cave system split in a kind of T, with one arm leading up in what the maps would call the Monk series. Unsworth said no one would go that way, as the passage quickly narrowed into a crawl. Anyone retreating from the water would have taken the other arm towards a sandy bank called the Pattaya Beach. But the space where the arms met in a T-junction was totally flooded. Only expert divers could possibly cross it. The governor contacted the Royal Thai Navy and requested that they send their SEALs. If anyone can manage the cave, which is considered one of the 5 most dangerous in the world when it is flooded, it would be the SEALs.
SEALs. During World War II, the U.S. Navy began creating units of frogmen, sailors trained to be so adept underwater they could scout out enemy coastal positions or destroy enemy seaside armaments. As the D-Day landing began at Omaha Beach in Normandy, France, Navy divers went ahead to blow up the deadly barriers the Germans had placed in the water, and lost 1 out of every 2 men into enemy fire. Frogmen, nicknamed Naked Warriors, were equally brave in preparing the way for the island-by-island combat in the Pacific. In the early 1960s, when the first Americans were sent into orbit around the Earth, their Mercury capsules were designed to splash down in open ocean. Navy divers helped to recover the astronauts bobbing in the water. Slowly, over the 1950s and early 1960s, these hardy amphibious naval units evolved into sea, air, and land, SEAL, Special Forces teams. And as their name suggests, Special Forces were not limited to water. SEALs were trained to do whatever was needed, wherever and under all conditions. SEALs were trained to do whatever was needed, wherever and under all conditions. Some of the secret missions SEAL units were tasked with carrying out having drawn criticism from observers and even questions to the fighters. One Cold War program required SEALs to carry backpack nuclear bombs, though none were ever used. Another, during the war in Vietnam, trained men with green faces, camouflage face paint for the dense jungles, to carry out targeted assassinations. Today, SEALs are known for their rigorous physical and psychological training they go through for accomplishing difficult missions, such as capturing and killing Osama bin Laden, the architect of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, and for their ability to function undercover in many environments. Since 1952, Thailand has had its own SEAL unit, whose intense training closely matches that of its American ally. In both countries, due to the sensitive nature of their missions, the names of the active duty SEALs are not made public, and when they give interviews, their faces are covered. In Thailand, where the military intervened and took over the government in 2014, human rights and democracy advocates are quite critical of the armed forces. Yet if any Thai personnel could find the boys, it would be the SEALs.
And as more and more people in Thailand became aware of the missing team, Political and regional divisions faded away. As one Twitter user posted, "It makes me realize that this country still has hopes and a big heart. People in the country dropped their biases and are helping each other. They all help pray for the Mu-Ha team to survive. I hope you are safe, brothers." Thailand's king, who spends a great deal of time in Munich, Germany, made it known that he was focused on the boys and the effort to rescue them. A local crisis was becoming a national obsession. The buzz in Thailand soon drew journalists from international publications. The cave story was becoming international hot news, with updates cycling across crawlers on the bottoms of screens.
Like the original frogmen, Thai seals are skilled at functioning in water, whether that means training bare-chested in pools filled with chunks of ice, or mastering the scuba outfit that allows people to swim underwater. The basic scuba equipment is a tank containing compressed air, a mouthpiece, and a valve to regulate the flow of gas to the swimmer. Most divers worldwide use scuba gear to swim in open water. When there are cave divers, while seals would bring courage, discipline, and gas tanks to the search, they were not among the very small group of people worldwide who are experts in swimming through flooded caves.
The Danish cave diver Ivan Karadzic lives in Thailand. He got the message that some boys were lost in northern Thailand, but word was it was a few boys and they were probably somewhere near the entrance. Ivan went off for his own 3-hour exploration of a different cave. When he came out of the water, the full story was all over the media. He rushed to offer his services. Ivan sees cave diving as a highly specialized form of diving, a niche within a niche. Scuba diving is a sport, a hobby, Karadzic explains, something many people do for fun. There are hazards diving in the open ocean or a large lake, but in general, those dangers can be predicted and prevented. Cave diving is something else entirely. Rick Stanton has described cave diving as more uncertain and unknown than even exploring the moon. With cave diving, he told an interviewer in 2007, you don't know whether to go up, down, left, or right. Karadzic agrees. Cave diving means exploring submerged caves, entering areas that have been undisturbed for hundreds of thousands or even millions of years. You must master basic diving, train in a lake or open water. You must have above average diving skill and have learned to use the equipment carefully and precisely. You may be in situations that are incredibly uncomfortable, narrow spaces, long periods of low or no visibility. In exchange, you have out-of-this-world experiences. You are in another world, weightless, in zero gravity, and this creates an almost mystical feeling. You are explorers, but you must have the training, the certification to dive safely.
Number 2, and action.
And this is chapter 2 of Marc Aronson's Rising Water. As seals gathered at the cave, one after another, Karadzic and other trained divers volunteered to join them. The good news was that more and more people were coming to the cave. That was also bad news. William Stone, an expert American cave diver and cave rescuer, said that the best cave rescues were the ones you never hear about. Only the key rescuers are allowed on the site, and they do their work unseen, undisturbed. Everyone else, family, media, volunteers, people not trained for this special mission, are kept away. With lives at stake, only people who have specific professional skills and experience at making difficult decisions should be involved. No one would want random spectators and anxious family members in a hospital operating room. Just trained nurses and doctors. This scene at Tan Luang Cave was the absolute opposite. One part of the space in the front of the cave's mouth was given to the families, as well as the Buddhist priests there to offer prayers, assistance, and comfort. Teachers from schools at the Wild Boars arrived. We want to be the first to welcome the boys when they come out. An administrator named Amin Sante told a reporter, indeed, media from the entire world is now flocking to the site. As many as 15 to 1,600 print, video, radio, and TV reporters, along with their sound and camera crews. to feed this to the growing instant city in which languages across the globe were being spoken. A group of volunteers set up kitchens to cook. A second Marshall tub filled with hot water and electric washer dryers to clean everyone's clothing, and a third to put out chairs so everyone could sit and have their hair trimmed. Like everyone in Thailand, Naranthorn Lapangchang was a Thai singer and actress. Heard about the team lost in the cave. Her assistant mentioned that her brother was a cave diver and could help train the seals in how to apply their open water skills to the flood cave, and had their equipment they would need. The singer and instructor dashed to the cave to meet the seals. This outburst of volunteering, all the food and services donated, given for free, is a testament to the generosity and goodwill of the Thai people. And there was more. As the train continued to fill the cave, a new line of attacks was suggested. Would it be possible to squeeze down through the limestone hills and bring the boys up and out that way? 8 Muslim men from the Trang province in southern Thailand, who hunt for specific bird nests to be gathered, sold, and used in recipes, learned about the rescue efforts. Since they are expert rock climbers with sharp eyes, they offered to come and comb the hills for gaps that could be expanded. Soldiers tried rappelling down ropes into crevices. A Muslim woman named Sophia Tainan realized that, like the bird's nest hunters, some of the people helping out in the rescue were Muslim and could only eat food prepared according to Muslim dietary laws. She and her friends began making 100, then 200 meals a day for free, while others turned up to 5,000 meal packs needed to feed the growing crowds. Day by day, the hills and cave filled up with ever more people using their skills, trying to help. But whether it was seals trained to dive in open water, cave divers arriving on their own without direction, the hum of searching and climbing on the hills, or the swirl of well-wishers, reporters, religious figures, and family at the cave entrance, it was not clear whether all the effort would bring anyone closer to finding the boys, or whether it might be making the rescue impossible.